Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. We are just about to enter 2025 और there was no way मैं 2025 में जा सकती थी without actually filming this particular video. I think 2024 में एक question जो मेरे से सबसे ज़्यादा पूछा गया है कि how did you lose weight? How did you lose weight? So much difference and stuff like that. So I kind of had to do this video. 6 months ago I was probably 10 kgs heavier, but I think mentally, my mental space, all of that was so much different, and it's so much different here. And I really wanted to talk about my transformation journey, and it wasn't possible to do it without this person. So that's Asad Ali Khan, my trainer, and somebody who's become one of my most favorite people because he's helped me in literally every single step through my journey here. So hi, welcome finally.
Thank you.
Guys, it's taken me a lot to finally get him here because he's a very shy person and he refused to do it first. So then I had to warm him up, and he's finally here. So it's a big deal, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so Asa, tell us, how does it finally feel to be on my YouTube channel? And you must do the hi guys, considering you like to do it so much.
Yeah, we'll start the greeting just like you do.
Yes.
Hi guys. So yeah, I mean, we had to start somewhere. It's a long time coming, so
Yeah.
why not before
Great.
the end
And
of
it
the year?
wasn't possible for me to do this without you because I literally, when I started off this journey of whatever losing weight, I didn't get into it with the thought process that I'm going to lose weight, and it just happened. It was a byproduct of actually trying to be active and moving and stuff like that. And I think the only person who knew I was about to lose weight was him. And so I don't have anything else documented. I just have this person. So we have him here with us. So we'll throw a lot of questions at him. Okay. So Asad, let's start by saying you saw me maybe 6-8 months ago, whatever, when I first started off actually working out. Tell my audience what it was like when I actually started coming to the gym.
So when you started coming to the gym, I noticed that you had some form of athletic background, some form of sport or some form of physical activity that could be seen, traces of which could be seen in your movement, and a structure was what was missing. You probably tried a lot of workouts, a lot of aspects of fitness that you've probably tried to do, which probably did not work out because you either didn't stick to one for long or you just didn't have a structure. So that was needed. 1, 2, your movements were slightly sluggish because you were probably
You're being nice by saying slightly. Be honest and say they were terrible.
Okay, no. So the movements were sluggish. There was a slight, we could see that you were on a high carb diet, simple carbs, a lot of sugars, and I'm pretty sure you enjoyed food a lot. So that was the first thing. Now everyone knows that 20% is the workout and 80% is your diet. So we had to start with you just getting into working out first and getting used to physical activity, getting used to just showing up at the gym every day, which is the most difficult part for most people, just showing up, because once you show up, you're definitely gonna kick and punch and do whatever's in front of you. But showing up, making that drive to the gym is what is the most difficult part. So once you got that, 1 month later, and I know you're gonna say that you had to force me into giving you the diet. That wasn't the case. I wasn't trying to avoid, but I just wanted you to first be familiar with the concept of working out every day. Post that, when you asked me for the third time, not the 8th time, when you asked me for the third time, I thought you were ready because you had made your mind up, and then we took it forward.
Yeah, so I think workouts and diets were a part of it, but I think something that really helped me was like the mindset as well, right? There was a shift in the mindset. So, talk to us a little about like what your mind is like. Of course, like, you want to work out, you do a diet, but it has such a positive effect on your mind as well, which I personally witnessed for the first time. Like when my sister used to say that, I feel like shit when I don't work out. I didn't understand उसका मतलब क्या है. I was be like कैसा मतलब घर में बैठ के खाने से अच्छा workout कैसा दिख सकता? But I genuinely saw that change in me. So talk to us a little about that.
Yes, so when you start working out, right, the first week, 10 days, maybe 2 weeks for few people who have never worked out in their life, it feels a little, it feels unnatural. You're probably going through a lot of physical pain. and that is just your body trying to get used to, you know, the new change in the pattern. So once you are basically once you have basically evolved into becoming that person who is now regular, you start experiencing something in your body. It's like a very magical change, and only people who start working out and people who are into workout, they can experience that. You're not looking for quick dopamines, you're not looking for those unnecessary snacks, you're not looking for those cheap thrills. You are basically getting whatever you want from that workout. And once you're in the habit of consistent working out 4 to 5 days a week at least, you understand that it becomes a part of your life. It becomes your second nature. Just like you eat, you breathe, you want to do a physical activity at least 1 hour a day. So, and once you experience that feeling, you know, and then you see that you're getting stronger, you see that you are getting the physical changes, you are experiencing more strength, more endurance, more coordination in your body, because there's a lot of neurological changes, right? And workout is not just about your muscles, it's about your mind-body coordination, mobility. You start feeling good, you start feeling like you felt when you were younger.
Yeah.
And you don't want to lose that because it took a long time to get back there. So you don't want to lose that again. So now you're trying to maintain that. You're trying to maintain that feeling continuously, because again, when you take a long vacation, you know how it feels. You don't feel the same person again. So you're just trying to maintain that feeling.
Okay, now let's go back to doing what I love doing, talking about me. So tell me, what do you think was the biggest challenge for me? Like, what do you think you thought the biggest challenge for me was in this whole process?
For most people, the biggest challenge is to get them to dedicate to working out and keeping a clean diet, or you know, making them go through a clean diet. That wasn't the problem with you, because when you make a commitment, I know you do it, and you've just done that. Contrary to my experience, which most people struggle with, they say that they're going to start, but they're somehow not able to do it. You have followed everything to a T. So that wasn't the problem with you. The problem with you was that you needed to start coming in the mornings, because I was a morning coach and I thought I could make the difference. But you were going in the evenings, which was a rush hour, and you probably had to get done quick, and you probably had to leave. And it's not advisable basically to work out in the evening unless and until your schedule basically demands it, because you're supposed to sleep, and you release a hormone that is supposed to basically allow you to sleep and get into a mode of rest in the night.
Yeah.
And if you work out in the evening, your metabolism is just shooting up. Metabolism is just shooting up. And what's happening is it's basically making you more active. Your brain, your muscles, everything's just active, and now you're not feeling sleepy anymore. So you're going to sleep late, and then you're going to wake up late, and that actually messes with the rest of your day.
Yeah.
So your biggest challenge for me, I feel, was coming to the gym in the mornings, because you used to come with a group of friends, and I know you are all about friends, and like you're coming in you were very used to a social environment, and you're very true to your friends, and you didn't want to bail out on them, so you were planning along with them and coming. And then what ended up happening was, since you were managing your schedule along with them, you were basically not able to give your best in the workout. Once you made sure that you had to ride solo in this journey, because this is a solo journey, guys. As much as gyms are a social environment, which is also a good part of going to a gym, your journey, your fitness, your hard work is solo.
Yeah.
Nobody can help you there. You have to put in the work, you have to put in your 100%. So I guess that once you separated the social aspect, you started doing good.
Yeah, so I think when also when I used to work out in the evenings, I feel like I was so tired because of like the whole day, right? Like you're working and stuff, and then you suddenly are working out again. So it really, I think, tired me out as well. But also, I must say this, and you all know this already, but 6 months ago, I would probably not go to bed before 12 o'clock a single day, But now I'm in bed by 10:30. And for me, it wasn't something that I wanted to do, to be honest. But once I kind of made it an effort for a couple of weeks, I felt so much better throughout the day. You know, I started waking up earlier, sleeping earlier, and it kind of made a whole body clock like that, to an extent where the other day I came home to sleep at around 5 a.m. and by 8 o'clock I was awake. I couldn't sleep because that's like, I guess, how my body clock functions now. So I think, yeah, that was pretty cool. And it's been a great change for me as well. And honestly, you didn't really have to push me much. Like, I did it myself. Yes. That much credit don't take.
No, 100%, yes. You did it on your own. But like you said, like when you wake up in the morning and you finish your workout first thing in the morning, the rest of your day is very productive because the cells are very active, your brain is really active, and now you can think good, your focus is good, everything falls into place, and you're basically in bed. You can't even force yourself to stay up, so you're basically falling asleep at the right time.
Yeah. Okay, so I know there were really, you know, good things that happened through this journey where I was, you know, trying to transform or trying to get used to working out or whatever that we were doing, right? But there were a lot of times, you know, that I wanted to give up. Like, I was like, oh, I can't do this anymore. So, like, tell us a little about, like, how do you keep yourself motivated when you are actually, you know, at that moment you're like, I want to give up. For example, I was on that no sugar diet and I was like, shit, I just want a piece of chocolate. So tell us a little about that.
Yeah, on your own you will have a lot of self-doubt when you start something, because, and this is something a lot of people might experience, right? If you've never worked out and if you're overweight and if you're not able to lose fat and if you don't know where to start, you're in a ball of confusion.
Yeah.
And you don't know where to start and you have so many self-doubts. Now it's very common, it's very normal to have that. And the one thing that everybody needs is someone who has been through that.
Yeah.
I myself at one point had hit 106 kilos. I know the journey and I feel for me, I can connect more with people who are overweight and who are trying to lose weight, who find it difficult, because I've come from that weight and I know the journey there. Most coaches I know, or most coaches people know, have always been athletes. They've always been into training. They've never had a point in their life where they've gotten to an overweight or a point where they have not been productive physically. So you need someone who has had your journey, who can encourage you and motivate you at your low times, like at the time that you feel low, at moments where you feel really low and you have those self-doubts kick in and when you're about to quit. This person should be knowledgeable enough to tell you, to basically know exactly what you're thinking and tell you what you want to hear. And this is where sports psychology comes into play. It's very important for a coach to understand the mental threshold of every person he trains. Everybody has a different threshold. Some have really high, some have really low. So you need to tell them the things they want to hear. A few words of encouragement always push them, rather than not everybody is going to be in an aggressive mode where you push them into an aggressive mode and they're trying to just push and become super athletes. Some of them do not come from that kind of a life. So they need a little more careful approach.
Okay, awesome. Tell me, when we were like 6 months ago, like I keep saying 6 months ago because I almost feel like I was a different person when I got into 2024 and I'm a different person going into 2025. We made a lot of changes, right? We started working out or whatever, like we followed a diet or, we started waking up early. So different things happened. But I think together we were like, we'll do one change at a time, almost like that of a situation. So tell me, we started working out. 6 months later, a couple of weeks later, we got into the diet. So tell us a little bit about that journey.
Yeah, so a lot of times when you start, right, like most coaches will be like, okay, you got to do this, you got to eat this, and then you got to do this, you got to do this. It's very overwhelming. What happens is a person is like, this is too many things, and we're living in a time where people have so many things to do, and a lot of times people are constantly switching you know, there's always some switch, like they're going from work to a social life, from a social life to a physically active life, to a dinner, to a family function.
Yeah.
That's a lot of stress in people's lives, right? So that basically carries in everything. When you give a number of tasks to a person who already has a lot of tasks in a day, they get overwhelmed and they're like, this is not meant for me, so they back out. What's important is to put one task at a time and give them a timeline to finish that task. So for you, like I said, it was important for you to get 1 or 2 months of consistent training where you're not missing more than 2 sessions a week, and you make it a habit. Your physical activity, your workout becomes a habit. And once you were there and you understood how important this is, then you put in the diet part.
Yeah.
And when these 2 things are fixed, the rest of the things are automatically usually just byproducts, like you say. So then we moved to the diet part, and then obviously the diet part also wasn't really rubbed into your face. We had to basically add one thing first.
Yeah.
Like you used to eat rice. So I said, okay, you continue this, but you add this.
Yeah.
And then slowly we removed the portion of rice. And
I couldn't imagine a meal without rice, honestly. And now, like, I am unable to eat rice more than like a couple of times a week, maybe, or even lesser, because I guess I'm actually enjoying what I'm eating now and stuff like that as well. So yeah, okay, tell us a little about sugar. Like I couldn't go without sugar a day. Like I would binge eat almost every day, and binge eat is a big issue in today's world and generation. So tell us a little about that.
Strictly speaking, from experience, when your body is given sugars, it goes into a mode where it feels snackish. Most people confuse it with hunger.
Yeah.
What's happening is it's messing with your insulin function, your liver function, and it's constantly, so when you give yourself like simple carbs or sugars, you have a quick spike in your insulin.
Yeah.
Okay? And you feel immediately mentally and physically very satisfied for the moment, and then there's a dip in your energy where your insulin basically drops and you feel the need to eat again.
Yeah.
So what's happening here is because you are feeding your body sugars and carbs, there's very little interest that we have in protein. Protein seems very boring.
Yeah.
So the insulin fluctuations cause you into energy dips, lethargy. You're not able to wake up energetic. You feel very heavy. Most people don't know this, but it also messes with your joints.
Yeah.
But that's a long-term effect.
Yeah.
There's a lot of issues that sugars, acne, and like foggy brain function is not productive. There's a lot of things that sugars do to your body, which basically, if we get into the scientific aspect of it, people will be really scared. People will be really scared to see what's happening on the inside. But when you withdraw yourself from sugars, you basically will realize that you are a lot more lighter. You wake up on high energy. Your insulin functions, your moods, so many of these things that we struggle with on a daily basis, these things are not a problem anymore.
Yeah. No, and I've felt that firsthand as well. Like the first week is tough, but once that week passes by without sugar, then you start, like, you wake up so much fresher. You are like, when I used to wake up before, it used to take me 15 minutes to get out of bed. Now I wake up, I'm out of the bed because I don't have that grogginess when I wake up anymore. I think I sleep better as well.
Yes, so, you sleep better. Yes, that's
so I think like 1 week is the tough period to quit that sugar. But once you do, it's fine. But having said that, I still do have my cheat days. I mean, I wish I didn't, but I do. I still love my cakes and stuff like that. But like, I am still able to say no. Like if it's in front of me and I am not supposed to eat sugar on that day, I can say no to it now. I couldn't do it before, but I can do that now.
It's always better to have a day fixed for your dessert, because you can't completely withdraw from it, right? You need to basically feed your soul, as they say, so that you reset. You're more motivated. You need to earn it. You need to go like, okay, I'm going to go 25 days without touching this, and on the 25th day, I'm going to cheat.
So, a couple of months into this or whatever, like I might be like a couple of kgs or whatever, 10 kgs lighter and stuff like that, but I know we never gave importance to that ever. weight loss wasn't the goal that we were going for. We were always going for, being fitter, being healthier, and all of that as well. So talk to us a little about that. How toxic is it to kind of start off with having that, in your mindset, and how healthy it is to actually go with an approach to, wanting a better life for yourself, a better lifestyle for yourself, and stuff like that.
Yeah, this mindset needs to change because, and I don't blame people because, when you're carrying a heavier body, when you have more weight on you, that's the first thing that shows. When you see yourself in the mirror, and when people comment on people's bodies, that's the first thing. What's on the outside is what shows. So that's the first thing people want to get rid of. But if they knew that the weight gain or the fat gain is the result of your system not functioning efficiently, not functioning at its peak, people will automatically end up fixing that first. Your weight loss, your fat loss should be a byproduct of your organs, your system functioning at its peak. When you have a system that is fully efficiently functioning at its peak, you will not put on weight, you will not pile on unnecessary fat. Putting on fat, the accumulation of fat in your body is basically that something is off in your body. So, but people don't know this. What they see in the mirror is like, oh, I've eaten so much, so I've put on so much weight, now I've got to lose the weight. And they want to look good because they don't like what they see. Or people have reminded them that they are on the heavier side. But always understand this, that if you're going to chase weight loss, you're going to succumb to monotony.
And also like a toxic relationship with like being like movement, right?
What happens is when you're chasing weight loss, you will take the most toxic approach, like you mentioned. People will starve, people will take the most absurd shortcuts to losing weight, which basically slows their metabolism down even more, and when they stop doing what they're doing, they pile on more weight. They become more unproductive. So the mentality of just losing weight drives you insane. So you need to understand that and chase fitness, being stronger, being faster, having much better cardiovascular endurance, making sure that you're feeling better, making sure you're doing your physical tasks without any help, moving a certain weight, just your day-to-day activity. Like, people need to work out for just the sole purpose of traveling without any issue, making sure that their luggage is basically they're not depending on anyone for picking their luggage up, to basically have a physical lifestyle, which basically they can continue with their kids when you get older. So people need to understand that when you chase these things, a stronger body, a fitter body, you're not going to put on weight. Weight loss is going to automatically happen. And I always say this, chase athletics, not aesthetics. So that mindset will be the major change. And you really were pushing me into helping you lose weight, and I always told you that we are not chasing weight loss.
I'll give him the credit he deserves. He did. Okay, so one thing that everybody asks me a lot is, "Kya kab to bhi kar rahe workout? Pura time kahan mil jata?" and stuff like that. So for me, I think I'll give you my answer to these questions, but I want you to give an answer that like how difficult it is to kind of fit in a workout during the day, right? It's 1 hour a day. Literally. Why do people think it's so difficult to take on that 1 hour a day?
No, because so it's not really difficult. We basically spend a lot of time. If you just open your phone and you see how much your Instagram usage was, that itself is more than 1 hour a day. So if you're going to reduce like 2 minutes of unnecessary time wastage throughout the day, and that'll accumulate to an hour, you can basically do 1 hour of workout. Anybody can fit in a good workout in 1 hour, and people just think it's difficult. People just, when you're thinking, like I said, the drive to the gym is the most difficult part. When you're gonna sit on the other side and imagine that the anticipation will make it look like it's a very impossible task, which is not. It's a very easy task. You just have to come to the gym and you have to do a certain set of movements which your coach or the program demands of you, and that's it. You'll be done.
So I think I must add my line. The only workout you'll ever regret is the one you don't do.
Yes, that's
So,
true.
for me, I think once you start understanding the importance of workout, for example, I understood that I'm working out to stay healthy, I'm working out for myself, right? And by myself, I mean not just like health-wise health, but also for my mental sanity, for all of these things. I think taking out that 1 hour became much easier for me. And for all those people who keep asking me, you're working out twice a day, yes, I sometimes do that. I sometimes, finish my workout and then either go for a walk or a run in the evening or something like that. Because now I'm probably at a stage in my life where I know how much it's benefiting me, so I don't mind taking that extra, the extra time out where I would probably be sitting on the couch scrolling through my Instagram, or I would be watching a Netflix show. I'm like, you know what, I'll add a little bit of movement today because I feel like I have the energy to, and I do understand the long term benefits of it, which I think is the way to kind of be. Because guys, I am like I keep saying this, that if I can do it, I used to be the laziest person. Like you all know, you all have seen my vlogs when I've been traveling or any of that. मेरे से lazy कोई रह ही नहीं सकता. और अगर मैं I can be this person in like 6 months, I don't know why nobody, I mean, there's no reason why you can't. Just like start, like begin movement. And to my friends, to all my office girls, I literally, it took me 3 months to just be like, just show up to the gym, मेरे gym को आ जाओ, कहीं ना कहीं चले जाओ. And now I see them go and work out, and it's making me so happy that they are actually working out, and I know they'll eventually enjoy it. They've been regular for what, 1 month now, but 2 weeks. But I'm hoping it's going to stay with them. And now I want anyone who I love or anyone who I have anything to do with to move, literally. So yeah, okay, tell me, like it is difficult to kind of stay motivated on days. There are small changes that you notice. For me, what happened was, I think मेरा reason workout करने का ये था, and I must tell this story, is I went to my cousin's house, और एक uncle थे, उनको कुछ आजकल याद रखने problem हो रहा. He's really old, and I went to him and I met him, and he's like, बेटे आप याद नहीं आ रहे. So I was like, मैं इनकी बेटी हूँ. So he went like, आया है बेटे इतने अच्छे थे ना, ऐसा मोटे कहीं को हो गए बोल के. He told me at that point, and it left such an effect on me that I was like, I'm gonna be regular and I'm gonna work out, which probably wasn't the right approach, but at least that uncle made me do it. So tell us a little about that when you don't see a change, it gets frustrating. So what is it that should keep one motivated, or what is it that kept me motivated?
Yeah, like I said, when you see, like, the physical appearance is the first thing that you notice.
Yeah.
So you obviously start with the weight loss, right? And it's very difficult to stay motivated. There are two areas basically, or two situations in which you might feel demotivated. Basically, you might feel demotivated. One of which is you've achieved your goal and now you don't know what to do.
Yeah.
If it was weight loss, you've achieved your goal and now you don't know where to go from there. You basically lost. B, you're trying and you're working out, but you're not losing weight and you're not achieving your goal.
Yeah.
So these two scenarios is where you feel you basically get demotivated and you stop. So in scenario number 1, where you've achieved your goal of weight loss, you want to now set new targets.
Yeah.
Weight loss is done, it's behind. Now you want to work on hitting your PRs, which you're doing right now. You're trying to add more skills, work on a skill, play a sport. On days where you don't feel like working out, just maybe grab a basketball, start, shooting on a court, or you have new games like pickleball right now. It's a very easy sport to pick up and everyone finds it fun. There is some physical activity. So on days you don't want to work out, you can play a sport and set new targets. Set targets of your highest box jump, your fastest sprint, your fastest 5 kilometers, your heaviest deadlift, stuff like that, under guidance and under supervision, of course. Do these things and you will always have something to chase. When the chase of the thrill is over, you find yourself very complacent and you don't want to work further. So always set targets which the human body is very magical. You know, you've experienced it.
Yeah.
The more targets you give it, the more it trains or it basically works to achieve those targets. So set targets, constantly set short-term targets which you can achieve, and it keeps you motivated. Scenario number 2, where you don't find you're not able to see any results even after working out for 1 month, which was basically a thing that you experienced for 2 months at least. See what you need to do. Always remember, if something's not working out, if something's not working for you, go back to the drawing board and see what changes you can make. Start eating clean, because if you're eating clean, there is no way you can lose weight. If you're doing everything right, there is no way that you will not lose weight. Even like the worst systems make improvements and you will lose weight. But if you're still not losing weight, 2 things to keep in mind is restructure, go back to the drawing board, reset, and start working again. Try something new, try something else. And sometimes what happens is you will not see results for a long time, but the changes are happening inside.
Yeah, exactly.
And all of a sudden, in a week or in 15 days, you'll start seeing those changes all of a sudden hit you.
I think that's what happened with me though. Like, I didn't think I was going through any change, and I didn't notice it. In my head, I was like, I just need to work out every day. And like on the days I was not working out, I was going and playing a sport. But I think one fine day, I turned up to the gym, and there was a particular day where everyone was like, oh my god, you've lost weight, oh my god, you've lost weight, and it went on, and then that's when I realized, like, have I lost weight? Like, I didn't even realize it. And I think that's the reason why my relationship with workout is now not not directly proportional to the weight loss or results even. It's just about how it kind of makes me feel.
You have like a lot of people, even like you said, do it for their mental health. Many people today are suffering from depression and anxiety. Believe me, if there's something that can help that, it's a good workout session. A lot of your happy hormones are released and you feel really good after a workout. A lot of your stress leaves the body.
Okay, so I mean, talking about eating clean, I know the diet that I was doing was something that was tailored for me because it suits my body type. But tell me your definition of eating clean. And I also want you to highlight like starvation, like, you know what I mean? Like, as growing up as girls, like, we were always like, come khao, it's fine. And I know you're not a believer of that, because it's the first time in 30 years I followed a diet and I was able to, and I'm still on it, to be honest. So tell us a little about what eating clean for you looks like, and for, whoever you train looks like.
Okay, so the first thing you need to keep in mind is stick to whole foods. Stick to foods that have that are perishable, that do not have a longer shelf life. That's number 1. Okay, so that is the first thing people need to understand. Secondly, eating less is not a sustainable thing. Your body is always going to feel the need of something. So eating less, losing weight by eating less is basically like, even a child who has no idea about fitness knows that if they don't eat, they will lose weight. Because that we're told that growing up, right? But that's not the way to do it. You are supposed to feed your body. Your body needs constant fueling, right? And you know that this diet basically made you eat more than you always ate. And you lost weight by eating more. So here the point is, we avoided unnecessary snacking. We avoided simple carbs. We avoided foods with like a higher shelf life, which God knows has so many chemicals and additives, which are the primary reason why we end up storing fat. So you got to avoid foods that have a longer shelf life. You got to avoid, obviously, there's some things which are very debatable. A lot of things have a lot of counter theories, but we all can agree on white bread, simple carbs, and like limiting the portion of rice you're eating. Every day, we've got so many cafes and restaurants that everyone just wants to eat out today. So stick to home foods, stick to whole foods. Fuel yourself primarily with proteins, fats, and carbohydrates. Okay, proteins, fill yourself with proteins. A lot of times, eating high amount of protein will kill the need for unnecessary snacking, because it's the best way to fill your stomach up, and it doesn't mess with your insulin much because the carbs are really low, or some like animal protein has no carbs at all. So you got to make sure that you're eating a balanced diet. A balanced diet requires you to have, for you it was 3 meals and 2 snacks, and that kept you constantly eating, which allowed you to stop eating at the right time around sunset,
Yeah.
right? Around sunset, around 7 or 6:30 or 7, you stopped eating because you just felt full.
Yeah.
That carried, that energy that you got from the food you ate throughout the day carried forward to the next day.
Yeah.
And you felt light because a lot of us eat right before sleeping, and what ends up happening is our energy is utilized in digesting that food, so we don't really wake up recovered. So it's always advisable to stop eating 2.5 to 3 hours prior to you sleeping,
You
and
can silence.
2.5 to 3 hours prior to you sleeping, and so that you basically wake up lighter. And it's always advisable to eat when in the day, because you are productive in the day. The night is to sleep. You
Yeah.
don't really need much of physical activity.
Yeah.
By nature, we are designed to stop all physical and mental tasks by the end of the day.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
your body is basically slowing down. Now you need to stop feeding it. So that is a very old belief. This is what our ancestors followed, and it always works. It never fails. Now again,
Yeah.
like I said, I'm going to have a lot of people coming back to me with counter theory saying, oh, this is not right, this is not right. But this has worked for most people.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's why like I started by saying it worked for me. It may not work for somebody else, but I think like my biggest meal was my breakfast.
Yes.
Okay, so sugars we've already discussed, but cheat days. Tell us a little about cheat days. Because he made me go 3 months without a cheat day. This man.
Yeah, so if you're just starting off a diet, right?
Yeah.
Finish the struggling part in the beginning itself,
Yeah.
so the rest of your journey is very smooth. A lot of people start putting their clients on a diet by adding one thing at a time,
Yeah.
like completely putting them on a diet and then slowly letting them withdraw from
Yeah.
sugars or the junk they eat. Most likely that ends up getting people to relapse into eating junk every day. I'd like to follow an opposite
Yeah.
idea, wherein I stop everything instead of making them withdraw one by one. You put an end to every junk that you're eating for 3 months. For 3 months, okay? For 3 months straight, you will go, for someone who's starting off, you'll go without any junk, without any sugars, without any of the foods that you've eaten that have made you basically gain that weight. You withdraw from all of that, and then you follow a very strict diet. And after 3 months, 90 days, 90% of the time you're going to achieve your goal. If you've worked out and if you follow this diet, you're going to achieve your goal of weight loss for the most part.
Yeah.
After that, you can then start adding a cheat meal every 2 weeks. Okay, and as you get more and more in a maintenance phase where you don't have to work on losing weight and you don't have to work on getting fitter, you are at a point where you just have to maintain. You don't have any more things to accumulate. Then you can cheat once a week, 2 meals
Yeah.
on that particular cheat day where
Yeah.
you can eat what you want. So it gives you motivation to restart. So let's say Sunday is your cheat day, your rest day. On Monday, you'll come back with A, well rested, and B, with the guilt of eating something that you shouldn't have eaten, and you work out better.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess for me, I mean, I went 3 months without a cheat day, but honestly, after one point, I didn't even feel like kind of
Yes.
cheating as well. So, yeah. Okay. Before we kind of end the whole thing and stuff like that, tell us a little about strength training, because I wanted to ask you that. And I feel like today on Instagram, at least my feed, because I watch so much of this fitness stuff and all that. The one thing a lot of people are talking about is, strength training for women, and, a lot more people lifting now, like a lot more women lifting now. So tell us a little about that as well.
Yeah, this is basically a topic which probably would have taken a lot of time,
Yeah.
but I'll try to keep it as short as
Yeah.
possible and as simple. Strength training is the base.
Yeah.
That should be the foundation.
Yeah.
Strength training should be the foundation, and I know many women have a lot of fears saying they'll get bulky,
Yeah,
they'll build
yeah,
muscle,
yeah.
and weightlifting will make them bulky. That's not true. Those are all myths. If anything, I may go as far as saying that strength training is more important for women because women are more at risk of muscle loss.
Yeah.
There is a huge difference in the testosterone that men carry versus what women carry. So they are more likely to lose muscle. And that is why we have a lot of women experiencing a lot of hormonal imbalances, like thyroid and PCOS, which is very common. That's because of a lack of proteins, a lack of muscle in their body, which leads to a lot of micronutrient loss. And that's the internal. And on the external, they have a lot of joint pain pretty soon because they lose muscle. Osteoporosis is real, and that targets women earlier in their life. And a lot of women have a very healthy functioning body, but nagging joint pain and back pain and waking up with unnecessary pains. This requires you to train weights. Weight training is very important. Training your muscles is very important. Lifting weights is very important. For those women who think you're going to get bulky by lifting weights, if you're following the right diet and if you're lifting weights, you're not going to get bulky because women's bodies are not built to get big. Generally, I mean, I'm talking about exceptions excluded. For the most part, 90% of the women by lifting heavy weights will not get bulky. What they see on television, what they see on internet, the women who have a lot of muscles and everything, they're probably on something. Right?
Yeah.
There's a lot of male hormones that are injected and everything. That's a different topic to discuss. But by nature, women's bodies cannot.
I'm just saying like normal women, right? Like you see a lot more women like okay with lifting now. पहले क्या था कि जिम में जाओ cardio करो weight loss हो जाता है.
So yeah, for the most part, if when women lift, their bodies are not designed to become bulky, right? But they will get stronger. They'll put on lean muscle mass with the absence of fat or low body fat percentage. And
I wanted to ask you about body fat percentage also.
Okay.
Tell me, what do you think? Because I know we've had the discussion where I've said like, kitna rehna bad body fat percentage, and you were saying like, women should be this much no matter what, it becomes unhealthy. So tell us a little about that as well.
Yes, women are generally designed to carry more body fat.
Yeah.
And that is nature. You can't mess with it because, they have to basically, women become mothers and the presence of fat in their body actually helps them function. So this advertised concept about this should be your body fat percentage and your abs sticking out and everything, that's not sustainable, that's not realistic. I would say somewhere between 17 to 21 is what women should target because that's sustainable. The absence of the deficit, like the absence of body fat or very low body fat percentage will tire you out. You will not be, your energy levels will be really low. You're going to be depriving yourself of what your body is naturally supposed to carry. And the same thing goes for men as well. Like under 10% body fat is not sustainable. You are training for a competition, you are in a sport, you have 4 weeks to maintain that deficit body fat, low body fat percentage, but after that you should basically come back to carrying a little more sustainable body fat percentage. So I'd say somewhere between, if not 17, maybe 16 to 21, 22% body fat.
And for women?
For women.
Okay.
Yeah, for men it could be anywhere between 11 to 15, I would say, is a sustainable body fat percentage.
Too less. Okay, cool. We're gonna wrap up, but one last question. Tell me your proudest moment in this whole weight loss journey of mine that you felt as my coach, my mentor. Tell me.
Before I tell you my proudest moment, I know what your proudest moment is. When you stepped on that weighing scale, which I actually tried to stop you from, but I know you were secretly still doing it. And you stepped on that weighing scale and you saw that your weight has actually reduced by such a long margin while you were not even actually
actively trying to lose it.
Or starving yourself. But for me, this whole journey has been really a proud moment for me because A, you gave me a chance, B, you believed, and what really stuck out for me was when you came every day and I noticed those really small changes every day. Your reaction time, the way you used to do a ladder agility movements, which became faster. And you sent me the video where you're a little slower and you're faster now. increasing your box height from doing 20-inch box jump, from doing step up to a 20-inch box jump and to going to 24-inch box jump, to a point where you yourself now realize how important this is. This has become a hobby for you. You really love doing it. You're not coming here with a goal. You're just coming here because you enjoy it. I see videos, and for most people who ask you, how much do you work out? It happens. It happens. When you start enjoying this, you kind of actually make this your priority. You kind of keep finding time to play some sport or doing something. It becomes your fun. For some people who keep going to clubs and partying, when you experience the high you get here, you just constantly talk about it. When you're sitting in a social environment, you're talking about your workout, your fitness, or you're talking about a sport. So that was a proud moment for me, because I saw you going from not really
a person who hated going to the gym,
and now to basically making those improvements, lifting stronger weight. I know every time I moved 8 kg dumbbells and gave you 10 kg dumbbells, every time I shifted your box height to 24-inch and you did it, those accomplishments, those little accomplishments over a period of 3 months, that was really a proud moment for me.
I guess it's safe to say I was your favorite trainee.
Oh, 100%, 100%. I have never had such a dedicated trainee, yes.
Good. Okay, I think that's all. Thank you so much for making this effort, Asad.
Thank you
and
for
I've said
having
this
me.
to you before, and I say it again. I don't think I could have done this without you. So thank you so much, and thank you for doing this as well.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.